Professor Sullivan?
To what extent is religion based on fear of death? And if it is, what's your answer to a religionist who kind of has that psychological problem with, I'm religious because I want to have an afterlife?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. The question is, to what extent is religion based on a fear of death? And if so, what's the rational response to it? I can't remember who it was. It's an interesting point. Was it Voltaire? Some literary or historically knowledgeable person may correct me. Was it Voltaire who said that if man were immortal, there would be no religion? I can't remember. I think there's a certain, I can't remember who said it, but I think there's a certain truth to that. Namely, that, we lose our loved ones, right? We lose our parents, we lose close friends, and one, religion gives us the hope that we haven't lost them permanently, that we would be with our loved ones again. And two, then, of course, the belief that my own death, which is terrifying to many of us, including, Jewish neurotics like me, death is terrifying to many of us, and so religious belief assuages that, right? It tells us, well, if we're a good person, we're never going to really die. So I think so. And they said, what's the expression? They say that there were no atheists in the foxholes. And a friend of mine who's an objectivist and a devout atheist once said, he lives in California, said to me, I'm only religious during earthquakes and in airplanes. So there may be a psychological need many people have for, belief in God to protect them ultimately from death. Well, let's say that's true, by the way. There's no atheists in foxholes. Period. It's probably false. I think there's some people who are. But even if it were true, let's say, what that establishes, even if it were true, what establishes is that it establishes a psychological belief, right? That human beings have some need to believe in a power to protect them. It doesn't establish a metaphysical one. It doesn't establish God's existence, which remains a fantasy. And so it's necessary for people to be rational and simply face death. And I think the real point it argues for is the urgency for value achievement in this life. It means, what do they say colloquially? Life is not a dress rehearsal. This is not practice for some life beyond. This is the one chance we get. If we don't gain fulfillment in this world, this is our only chance. So there's an urgency here to your quest for values. Identify what it is you love. For me, I want to be a writer. I want to write books. But and I want a love relationship, but career-wise, I always wanted to be a writer. The thing is, everybody now needs to identify, what do I want out of life? Do I want to start my own business? Do I want a romantic relationship? Do I want to rear children? Do I want all of the above? What do I want? And then work as hard as you possibly can by honest effort to gain those values that you want, to live a fulfilled life on earth, so that on the day you die, it's going to be a sad day, it's not going to be a happy day, but at least you can look back on your life and say, I accomplished the things I want to accomplish. I reached the goals I wanted to reach. How horrible is it to lie in your deathbed and have the realization, I didn't do the things I really wanted to do, and that was the end. I can't imagine the horror of that. So I think the realization that there is no life after death, that realization shouldn't be depressing to you or I, like it is for the existentialists, like Sartre or Camus or people like that. But rather, it should be the exact opposite. It should be a stimulant. It should have a galvanizing effect on us that this is the one chance we have to achieve values. Don't blow. Somebody, you haven't asked the question, right?
No.
Go ahead.
I'm curious, based on objectivism, are you a vegetarian? And if not, why? And would you ever eat a non-human primate?
A non-human primate? You mean like cows?
No, like chimpanzees.
Oh, chimpanzees. Based on my objectivist philosophy, am I a vegetarian? Hell no. I just had a big burger. I am as carnivorous as can possibly be. Teach his own. It's a free country if people want to be vegetarians. That's their right. But my literary agent, Holly White, told me very clearly, and I think she has a case, she regards vegetarianism as a form of mental illness. And Many of the vegetarians I've known are these wacky leftist environmentalists. They think animals have rights and stuff.
They also have higher IQs.
They are a little higher IQs. I haven't noticed it. But anyway, I mean, it's a free country. If they want to eat nothing but vegetables and stuff, they're free to do so. But I think, and I'm not, you know, so you take,
based on
wait, just let me finish. I'm not an expert in nutrition, but to what little I know about nutrition, I think it is difficult, although not impossible, to gain a sufficient amount of protein on a meatless diet. Would I eat a chimpanzee? If I had to, yeah. If I was starving, and the only choice was eat the chimpanzee or starve to death, yeah, sure. But chimpanzees don't look very edible. They don't look very delectable to me. Hey, what's the point of the question? Why would objectivism link to vegetarianism?
Well, I mean, I was thinking, so there's tons of evidence suggesting that this world would be so much better if we were all vegetarian, based energy-wise, economically, the amount of energy, right, solar output, considering, by itself, global warming from flatulence of cows. I mean, I know some of this stuff is way more tentative than others, but the point is I feel like you're arguing for extreme rationalism in every aspect of life, and I'm wondering, I was just trying to pick an example and wonder how do you explain when you're irrational about things? Because I feel like we all have sacred cows. So if you live by an objectivist philosophy, what is your sacred cow, and why would you continue with that? I just figured that would be it.
Okay. I strongly tend to doubt the evidence that human life would be benefited by a purely vegetative diet. Certainly the economy. Certainly the economy is not improved by, or the environment is not improved by eating nothing but vegetables. When you use the term sacred cow, the term sacred cow is some belief. If I understand the definition, a sacred cow is something that people hold as worthy of reverence, whether there's any factual basis of it or not. Well, objectivism rejects worshiping anything without a factual basis.